So it does help, obviously, to uh, have these pins in places where it would make sense, like schools, people that actually use it, not a park. So I try to make sure it stays logical that way. But for the fact that I just want to have more pins out there, I just don't even care.
Right. So we have like, okay, you go 3 miles. There is a lot of like Google URLs, it looks like. It has different like CID, the review, the products, URLs, the sheets URLs with those in there. Now, when you build this, do you drive traffic to it or do you just build it and let it sit there? How do you get Google to see this? And how do you get Google to kind of, let's say, trigger these things?
If I wanted to make this work, now I really can't half the time. And really, this is where I have to rely on the client. Look, here's a way you could do this. What you have now is a bunch of potential posts, right? Take each of one of these links and a really brilliant way of doing this. And if we're going to keep it in the Google house, I would write an article on GMB and then point back to one of these links. Just one, not all of them, just the one,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we have, man, I got to go to this one. No, this one. I got to see how many we have. Okay, so we're on 58 right here. We got 58 rows. So I have a potential for, well, not 58, but you get the idea. 48. I have a potential for 48 new Google My Business posts. If you don't know, Google My Business will get crawled just as soon as it gets posted. Like you say, submit, Google's crawling it pretty quickly. So that's one way of doing it. So I would take this and link from Google My Business as a to one of these areas, to one of these links. Secondly, there's other Google properties I would use. Calendar. Um, that continues to get Google to crawl each and every one of these links, right?
Okay.
The more they continue to come, the more you get Google to come back, the more that they start to just understand, well, I got it already. I got it 5 days ago when you told me about this. When you pounded into me for the last 12 days before that. So at some point, they're just going to be like, I get it. And then more times than not, um, you will find out that not only will you see the rankings go up, but you're eventually going to get where one of these keywords is going to dominate, right? So like you can say, oh yeah, I went here, I went and did a search result for this, and I found out that they have the knowledge graph, right? Which means they're going to be the only one that shows up on that Google search result.
Got it.
And as and if you think that all you want is the map pack, then we're not thinking high enough. I would say.
What do you mean by that? Like where else besides the map pack and would they
No,
dominate?
just knowledge graph. You really
Okay.
want the knowledge graph because you're the only one there, right? How could you eliminate the choice, right? If you a knowledge graph, what that means is on mobile, it takes away two of the competitors. It takes away every competitor at that point because there's nobody else there. On mobile, you're the only one that gets the call button, right? So if you don't know this, like if you were to type this in like so inside your mobile device, this guy would show up with the only call button there. Like if I was to say, if we typed in, you see, we got choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we don't want that, do we? Because because they could either call my client or they could call somebody else in this list, right? Or they, you get somebody that's really shopping around. They'll be like, oh, let's see some more ideas, right? But if it was just this guy, or where we just had it right here, there's going to be no 3-pack. There's going to be no, hey, let's check out some more people. There's going to be only one. There's going to be only one row that belongs to you and or to your client, right? That's it's going to be very hard to say no when you're the only one, right? And so you get more keywords that do that, the better off you are. So I really like this for that reason. It's very powerful.
Awesome. Now, Dave, do you have some like before and after grids? Um, or this is I'm assuming that you've done the best practices, you optimize the GMB, you're active with it, you put some posts with it.
Yeah.
Do you have like this is just kind of like icing on the cake, right? This is kind of after you you've done all the what I call the best practices, um, and especially with all this coming out, right? You're constantly comparing your competitors, and you're constantly polishing your GMB, and then this is kind of a layer on top of it.
Right. So let me see if this works. Okay. So I really don't do these a lot because I'm still trying to find a better grid tracking system. I don't really do the grid tracking a lot. Sometimes what it is, I'll
I
exchange.
can show you all this after this. They have great mapping system.
Uh, Usually I would exchange like, hey, listen, if you're willing to give me track a keyword for me, then I'll just use this same keyword to uh, give you, the driving directions. And so usually it's a barter system. So here's an idea of uh, usually trackers they go about 5 miles, right? It's 5 miles from the normal business, if I'm not mistaken. And
Mhm.
so, which is fine for this, because remember we're talking about uh 5,000 kilometers or like three some odd miles from home anyway, right? But so this is about uh again 5 miles, and then again 5 miles within that same keyword. Now, best practices. How do I get again? This is really one keyword, but how did I get there? Basically I do what's called a a sniper branded keyword term, and basically all I do is let's see. So we have the brand, and then I would have the keyword, and then I would have the location. So in other words, there's going to be other um, layers that I could add here, right? So I could extend these set of layers uh, to add more driving directions and stuff. But anyways, let's see, where was I? Not to get you distracted. I'm getting distracted. So it'll be so I would say keyword 1A, keyword 1B, keyword 1C. Now what that would be like is uh, vent cleaning services, best vent cleaning services. I do this about 20 times, right? Get 20
Mhm.
of these variations going. Top, top rated, top notch. I think of something else.
Near me?
Yep. And then you could do that. Near me. You can repeat those. Nearby. Uh, in. Right. You get the idea. I don't have to go on. But I'm now matching 20 variations, but I haven't really left the main keyword, which is vent uh, cleaning services, right? But if I repeated this process to like uh, vent cleaning contractors, I'll just make a whole set of driving directions the same again. But because it's just one keyword, maybe, I'm sorry, because there's several different keywords, what's happening is I'm able to also keep, like, this thing will be stuffed full of
Right.
10 different, sets of driving directions, because while this one was going to a bunch of parks and schools, I will have another one that's going to a bunch of, uh, let's say, a museum. Let's say, let's say the first one would go to a bunch of parks and elementary schools. Another one I would have, it'll go to a bunch of banks and um, some other place,
Right.
gas gas station. So now it gets crazy because now I can hit a lot of different locations at the same exact time, at least 10 different times. And if you're thinking about what I was just saying earlier, all I'm doing is everything stays the same except for the description here, or which is really the location data,
Mm-hmm.
or the pin name. The pin name is the where we're at, right? And the latitude, longitude of the pin data as well. Now we're still pinning this data there all throughout this particular pin. And then once I do this about 10 times, one per keyword, then we're going to have a bigger picture for Google to play off of,
Got it.
right? Because now, while this one, again, like I said, I usually pick two different locations per setup. Uh, Either, again, this one is parks and schools. The other one could be like even banks and elementary schools or something like that. But there's several locations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so at the same time, and really, there's not much being said here, right? Except for the same thing all over again. Like I'm not writing anything about, uh, I'm not writing anything about the location, but I'm telling Google that this location is every bit like a duct cleaning service I know,
Got it.
right? I don't know. It's like it's a reference material because if you think about how you try to explain something to somebody else, uh, if you think about places that are in your city, and you would say, okay, you know that gas station on the corner of so and so. That's where that Domino's is at, or that's where so and so is at. Even though vividly a person may not know exactly where you're referring to, but I do know about that gas station you're referencing, and I do understand. Okay, so the next time I'm in need of Domino's or whatever, I know where one is because I got it visually because somebody said, okay, uh, at the corner of street and street is this gas station, and next to it is that store, right?
Got it. Yep. Yeah.
So
So as
so this,
far go ahead.
no, that's it. Go ahead.
No, so we got it. Like this is like 3 mile radius, different data points from within Google, kind of referring back to the business and the business back to that particular location where Google reads it. You can include this on a map. Um, so as we start to close this off, Dave, where can people create this? Is this for like, you know, does only like businesses with address? Can you kind of leverage this for service area businesses as well?
So this is, yeah, for both SABs and for uh, brick and mortar.
Businesses with address, right?
Yeah.
Brick and mortar, right? Correct.
And
Okay.
so typically this is and this isn't too self-advertised, but you could either do it yourself, and there's a software that I use called Staxio. And basically the way it looks like is this. I'll click on this local banner. You got to set it up. It takes a little bit to set up. So that you could use your map API. So you gotta be okay and familiar with that. But after that, it's you know easy picking. So basically, all I'm doing is let's see, where do we go? Where do we go? We would have to go here. Yep, copy, and then we go here. So I'm taking their GMB link and pasting it here, right? So now I take their keywords, and like I said, I really want brand keyword 1A location, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brand keyword 1B location. I'm going to want this 20 times, right? So that could be also, like we said before, if we were to do this one more time. And near me, right? You do this
Right.
about 20 times. It's not that hard, right? But again, the value point is again the keyword, because as long as that doesn't change, you're really zeroing in on it. Now I could create some driving directions, right? I select this. I don't have to really,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to do it anyways. Um, and so basically, what it's going to do is I'll select, let's just say, an accounting service, and we'll go with, let's see, again, secondary school, right? Now, here's what I could do. I could include another place, not another place, but I could say, uh, if we see the map, if I could find it real quick, if we could see the map over here, and let's just assume like this is where they are, but I really want to start here at the country club, because you were asking, could we go outside of that 3 mile bubble?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I would have to take the coordinate from here, copy, and put that here. And let me go back. I hope I'm getting it. This bar is right there in front of me. And then I'll put that here. And then I want to and from. I want all of, I'll do it all at first. And then if the file is more than 5 MB, I can't do it. Then I'll enable the My Map KML so I could upload it to here. And then we'll I usually like randomizing that part, and then I'm just going to give it a name. We'll just call it uh, Delgado Project. That's just for my own fancy.
Mm-hmm.
And then there we are. So I'm going to include QR codes, which is links back to. Uh, it's going to add links back to, as you can see here,
Right.
is linking to this particular file, and this is actually linking to this, whatever's in uh, column B, right? the point of that is, you know, right now this is a test too. I don't know how effective this is for the QR codes, but what could it hurt?
Right. It's simple and effective, right?
Might as well, right? If I can do
Yeah.
it, might as well. I'm just gonna drop it off, and then I go ahead and click the build button, and in about less than 5 minutes, it'll be ready to go.
Nice. Now, David, if somebody doesn't want to like go through this, you offer this to create it for them?
Yes, I do.
And I put in the Zoom guys, or not the Zoom, but the Facebook Live. And those that are catching the replay, you can go to my Facebook or look up Dave and reach out to him, right? Is that the best way, or do you want him to go
Right.
into particular?
So I do got Zionport / map dash stacks. Yeah, I'm in the process of not only building out the maps themselves, but a
Mm-hmm.
full entity stack all in one foul swoop. So it'll be a supercharged way of doing things.
Awesome. Okay.
And we're talking with like schema and everything. So it's yeah, for everybody that's the DIYers, this is a great tool. I live and die by it daily. I've been on it
Awesome.
for the past 4 years, but then for those that's like, yeah, I give up. I'll just go ahead and pay the guy. You know, pay for the service, and you'll get a good deal. Yeah,
And how affordable is it?
I'm starting at 125 a month.
Okay. So these get created every month?
This will get created and powered up over the month. These campaigns, like one of the problems that I have is a lot of people, they'll buy it once and they'll see the boots, and then I don't see them for 3 months, and they'll say it worked for the first week. What went wrong? I was like, you had to keep it going, right? I was expecting you to do it because you went as far as the service took you. So having me to, but not everybody has the time to say, well, I don't have what it takes to keep this momentum going. That's why I'm going to pay this guy,
Got it. Okay.
right? That's recommended.
Awesome. Now, guys, again, those that are catching the replay, I put David's Facebook um in the comments there. Reach out to him. Zion Pro, as you guys are seeing it, port I should say .com/maps dash stacks. That way you can get you guys hooked up. It seems very affordable, very effective. Let me get that URL in there as well. So Dave, any last parting words that you want to leave the family with? Anything that we didn't cover that you want to leave them with?
I don't know. I would like to hear some questions. Like if there's something that I was going too fast for,
Mhm.
and if you don't mind, Alfred, I don't mind coming back and try to address every question that they may or may
No,
have.
not at all. I don't have any. I was monitoring the Facebook Live. I don't have any on there or on here, but those that are catch the replay. And, I would love to maybe have you back, to talk a little bit more
Yeah,
about the stacks, the different other stacks. So, yeah, we can definitely set up a time for you to come back. Um, so I appreciate you, Dave. Thank you for these
thanks,
insights.
Alfredo.
Guys, over the shoulder, make an impact for your clients, get them some results. And you know how to reach out to Dave. He's my friend. Look up on Facebook. We'll have this on the YouTube and the GMB Pros back in.
Excellent.
And yeah, so with that said, guys, much love, much success, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yep. Thank you.